I have a friend that was, I have a friend I worked with before the recession, like in '06.
I'm hoping I don't get sick.
I visited him too. I don't know, one of my friends.
All right, good evening, welcome. Tonight is May 10th, 2021. It's not 5:01 p.m., it's actually 6:01 p.m. This meeting is called to order. There is no one in attendance that is not employed by the city, so we're going to skip over the normal pitch and just go straight into it. We've got a host of items to be tabled this evening. So let's go straight into tabling these items and then we'll move forward. The first item on the agenda is item 2021-007, zoning request Z21002. This is to be tabled to the June 14th meeting. Can I get a motion to table this item, please? I got a motion to table. Mr. Seagraves, I got a second. Mr. Rice, all in favor, please vote. The item's tabled 7-0. The next item on our agenda is 2021-085. This item is to be tabled to the June 14th, 2021 Planning and Zoning Board meeting as well. May I have I got a motion to table. Mr. Jones, a second. Mr. Smith, please vote. The item is tabled 7-0. The next item on our agenda is 2021-132. This is zoning request Z21-004, another item to be tabled to that June 14th, 2021 Planning and Zoning meeting. Can I get a motion to table, please? Ms. Ostrega, and a second by Mr. Smith. Please vote. All right, that item is tabled as well, 7-0. All right, the next item on our agenda is 2021-134. This is zoning request Z21-006. This item is to be tabled to the June 14th, 2021 meeting as well. Can I get a motion? I have a motion, Mr. Phillips. I have a second, Mr. Seagraves. Please vote. Mr. Smith? No. All right, that item is tabled as well, 7-0. Well done, thank you. The next item on our agenda is 2021-188. This is a public hearing for the approval of code amendment to section 503A of the city's zoning ordinance to address front yard fencing. Mr. Martin, the background, please.
All right, good evening. The proposed text amendment is to section 503-A of the zoning ordinance. That section particularly deals with fencing within the city. The specific section we're looking at is 503-A.3, which deals with front yard fencing. We had an issue earlier in the year with respect to a property owner putting up a split rail fence in the front yard, and then putting wire backing behind the fence. And we received several complaints about it. Our code is sort of quiet on that specific issue. So we wanted to go ahead and try to address that issue and clarify what's allowed and not allowed. So with respect to that, we have modified the code to add two sentences in there. with respect to split rail fences. They read any wire backing on a split rail fence in the front yard must have a black vinyl coating, and the use of uncoated wire backing and woven wire backing on split rail fence is prohibited. So they can have a welded wire back. It needs to be coated in black vinyl. And then if they use chicken wire or any other kind of wiring, that's prohibited. So basically, we're just clarifying what's allowed and what's not allowed. We're proposing to take this to council at the June 7th meeting and let them have an opportunity to have a public hearing and make a recommendation.
All right, thank you, Mr. Martin. Do we have any questions for Mr. Martin at this time? Okay. This is a public hearing. We'd like to ask if there's anyone in attendance that would like to speak in favor of or opposition to this amendment change. Nope, nope. All right, we have no one in attendance that would like to speak on this item, so can we, I'd like to entertain a motion. We have a motion to approve, Mr. Phillips. We have a second, Mr. Smith. Please vote. Okay, this item is approved 7-0. The next item on our agenda is 2021-189. This is a public hearing for the approval of code amendment to section 402, 712, 716, and 720 of the city's zoning ordinance to list private dog parks as permitted uses in the general commercial, central business district, and mixed-use zoning districts. Mr. Martin, the background, please.
Yes, the City of Smyrna Community Development Department has been working with a potential business owner who wants to locate a private dog park into the City of Smyrna, similar to the business model of Brewhound. There's one in Alpharetta and down in the City of Atlanta. It's basically a private dog park that you apply for membership to be part of. You pay monthly dues and stuff like that, and then they also have the opportunity to sell food and alcoholic beverages and coffee. Our zoning ordinance doesn't speak to the private dog park use, so staff would have to make an interpretation as to where that use is acceptable. This zoning amendment would clarify exactly where it's acceptable and you know what the constraints are for it. With this amendment, we're proposing to modify the definition section of the zoning ordinance to, you know, provide a clear definition of what a private dog park is, and that's a recreational area contiguous to a building that is owned or leased and maintained and controlled by a licensee and used exclusively for recreational purposes of dogs within an enclosed area. So they got to have a building, and then they got to have they got to have a fenced-in enclosure for those dogs. The second amendment on this sheet is just to move special events down to be able to fit it in alphabetically. Section 712, this is putting in a private dog park as a permitted use under the general commercial zoning district. Section 716 is to put private dog park as a permitted use under the central business zoning district. And then section 720 is to put private dog park as a permitted use under the mixed use zoning district. That I'll be happy to answer any questions for you.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Martin? I think we did have, when we talked about this earlier, about potential for adding it to light industrial.
Yeah.
As well. It's still something that's a possibility, correct?
Yes. If you guys want to add a stipulation on the approval that you want to add it to the light industrial zoning category, you can do that at this time, and then we'll add it to the recommendation going before mayor and council. Staff was just primarily concentrated on GC and then our mixed-use zoning districts that have, communal living, and then the GC zoning categories are along our corridor, which usually back up to single-family residential neighborhoods. So we were thinking more along the lines of people being able to walk to the park and use it as opposed to having to travel down the Highlands Parkway or up at Dixie Avenue up above IGO. So we'll be happy to add that. It's compatible.
All right. Any questions, concerns? Anybody else? Okay. This is a public hearing. At this time, we'd like to ask if there's anyone in attendance that would like to come forward and speak in favor of or opposition to this ordinance amendment. Okay, let the record show there is no one in attendance that would like to speak on this item. So with that, I'd like to entertain a motion. Have a motion to approve Mr. Jones. Have a second, Mr. Smith. Please vote. All right, this amendment has been approved 7-0. All right, is there any other discussion this evening? Let's go ahead and approve the minutes from the April 12th, 2021 Planning and Zoning Board meeting. Do you have the minutes? Are there any amendments need to be changed? Or let's have a motion to approve the minutes as presented. We have a motion to approve Michael Seagraves with a second, Mr. Phillips. Please vote to approve the minutes. And the minutes are approved 7-0. Okay. Mr. Martin, you got anything else? No. Okay. Well, I got that part, man. That's one of those things I don't forget as easy. This is, we found out before this meeting, this is Mr. Victor Jones' last meeting for at least 12 months. Victor has done a fantastic job for this board on behalf of the residents. He has been prepared. He has been thorough. He asked insightful questions. He asked challenging questions at times, things that challenge me as well. I've enjoyed being on the board, serving with you, and I appreciate your dedication and your diligence to what we do here. So you're going to be missed, Mr. Jones. All right. With that, I'd like to call this meeting adjourned at not 5:13, 6:14 p.m.
That's what I was so surprised with the whole thing there. It's so walkable.